Okay, this is my first vlog for Twilight Phoenix. This is going to be kind of a long one, and I'm going to kind of cover everything that I've done thus far. Yeah, I started this about a month and a half ago, and I've been working on it full time for 2 weeks. So, this is kind of what I've got so far. So built out this island, put the water around it. Um, let's go in here. So we have a couple different types of trees and foliage. You have yucca trees here for fibers and whatnot, and then regular palms for wood. We have some rocks that have just rock. They have iron, and then some of them eventually are going to have flint. I haven't quite finished that part yet. Let's see here. We do have some animals, and I'm just going to show you really quick what the animals look like when they're actually in the game. I just finished this up the other day. So they all have walking animations. They all, walk. They have attack animations and run animations as well. But I have that disconnected so I can do some basic troubleshooting. Now, they also have swimming modes. So I like the deer. I think the deer's swimming animation is really good. And then it just pops out of the water. Oh, there it goes. So I have it, and actually if I can go find the rabbit, I actually have it so you can decide if you want, where's that little bunny? Oh, here we go. So some creatures will go in the water and then some won't. So the rabbit, it goes into the water like just till over its head, and then it turns around and it comes back to land. But the other animals will actually go out and swim. So that's some basic animal behavior stuff. I do have it so you can attack trees, and the yucca, they get fiber and then they collapse. There is a building, crafting system here and whatnot, and obviously everything needs to be kind of situated with like what materials are needed to build what and everything. But yeah, it's a basic build system. If you've ever played anything like Ark, then you'll have a pretty good idea as to how this is kind of laid out. I don't have like a quick menu bar yet, but I am planning on doing that pretty soon. Let's see here. I'm kind of running out of resources, which I can get more real quick, but just trying to show you guys some basics here. So, dock, and some stairs. You can go up on it, and then yay. There is swimming in the game. So I have swimming implemented. There's not a whole lot under the ocean at this point, but I do have a lot of plans actually for that. But at this point in time, there is just pretty much just swimming around. Your bed, if you go to your bed and you sleep, then when you wake up, it is 8 hours later. Now, this doesn't actually affect anything else that's kind of going on in the world as far as like NPCs or animals or anything like that. They'll just basically be in the same spot that they were. But it does change, where the sun is and weather effects and like a few other things. There are items that you can pick up. Oh, right, I forgot about that. The lantern is broken. I kind of trashed that for the torch, which the lantern's it's an item that I purchased, and like it was sized all weird, and I just didn't want to mess with it, and so I just kind of made it work for what I needed at the time. I need to redo that entire system because I got to attach fire to the torch, and so I have to add like a whole list of things to all the items so that there's other possibilities basically. But the axe, to chop down trees, right now it collects the same amount of resources as like your regular hand does, but that eventually there'll be multipliers on all of the gathering tools and weapons and stuff like that. So as you go up from stone to iron to steel, it'll get better. And there might be I might add like a dulling effect over time, or the need for repairs over time. So there's that possibility as well. Ferns, apparently in my research, ferns are really just there for aesthetics. They really have almost zero purpose for utility. So unlike in Ark where you can just gather ferns with your bare hands, they're literally just there for cosmetics in my game because you can't really make anything out of ferns. they're basically a potted plant. That's basically it. Rocks, like I said, they give you resources. I do have respawning on all of the trees and all the rocks. And they don't respawn if you have build platforms in the area, and like it goes out a little ways too. So you're not going to have a tree respawn on your house. So that's good. I do have items that you can pick up. So like rock here, and like aloe, and we have what is it, like a rough bandage, which requires aloe and like something else. I haven't finished the requirements yet, but basically that, and then you can heal yourself with that. I don't have that functionality working yet. There are crafting stations that I have made. Let's get those situated here. So we have a fire pit, which looks a lot better at night. But you can cook meat and eat that for health and hunger. You do have hunger, thirst, health, and stamina for basic stats right now. I'm not sure where that's going to head in the future. We'll see. We have a saw pit, and that creates planks. Let's see, we have a tanner station, which is going to, it doesn't do anything right now, but it's going to take hide. Oops, that was stupid. I just got out of there. Let's go back to the daytime. So the tanner station will take hides and allow you to create different apparel, leather stuff. And there's a few other things that will require leather. So it'll allow you to create clothing, but also like straight up leather from hides. Let's see here. Dang it! Every time I go into the menu, I gotta fix that. It's really not that hard to do. I can literally just do it in a different map. But what's happening is it's natural for you to hit escape when you want to leave a menu, and I can't do that because then it escapes out of the preview. It's really annoying. Okay, so that's the fire pit, the woodworking, and tanner. So here's loom, forge, and anvil. So let's do the loom. So in the loom here, you can create sails. There'll be other like fabric type stuff that you'll be able to do, like finer fabrics. You will be able to make a rough fabric just in your inventory using fibers. That's pretty basic. Like, so that should be fine. Just doing it in your basic inventory. The forge here allows you to make charcoal, which is used to make tar and like a few other things. Steel ingots and iron ingots. Let's see, the anvil. You'll be making like weapons and other things. Lantern. Yeah, I will. I will be making a lantern, but not the one that I currently have in the game. It'll be a different lantern. But yeah, I will have a lantern eventually. Oop, almost hit escape again. Okay, so those are the regular stations, and I also have a chest, which allows you to transfer items and whatnot and store them in there. I am also going to be making it so the chests you can pick up, like in Sea of Thieves, and move them around. So you can, put a chest down on an island, scour the island for supplies or whatever you need, fill up the chest, and then bring the chest to your raft or your boat, put it on there, and then sail off. Inventory system, how it works right now, is it's all slot based. So all these slots go up to 99. So you can have 99 of whatever stackable items there are. Some items probably won't stack. Like I probably won't have like weapons or armor stack. So you are gonna have to be kind of careful about that. Hi, dear. The regular inventory that you carry on you holds, I think, 25 slots. I think it is, and then the chests do 10. So they'll do 2 rows of 5, and yeah. So you just have to make like a few more chests and to add your inventory or whatever. But yeah, pretty much that's that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I mean, like, the building mechanics, like I said, is very similar to Ark, so I don't need to really go through all of that. Oh, I guess I could go and show you guys how I'm doing. So how I'm actually doing the flora and fauna and like respawns and such whatnot. So I'm using 2 methods. So actually 3 technically. So these rocks, these are just static objects that I've personally placed in the scene, and those are blueprints. And they have in their blueprints, sorry, I'm looking at another monitor here, in their base blueprint, so let's pull, I'm going to need to move you, yes, let's move you up here. Okay, so, blueprints, so, yeah, BP resource. So if we open up BP resource, wait, and it's, oh, okay. So its parent is this. So, all right. So in here, geez, why is this being so weird? All right. So in here, so this is the main event graph. So this is just calculating damage to the resource, and then we're getting resources, changing the quantity that we're getting based on a random integer, and then in here we're doing respawn, which it took me a while to really get like a decent respawn in here, but this seems to work pretty well. So basically what it's doing is we're getting the location of the actor, and we're creating a transform, and the actor is going through this check right here, which is basically seeing if the time has lapsed 12 hours. Now it's a little tricky because it is rounding the number to like like more or less. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't really show it that it's rounding. It's rounding over here, but this initial check, I guess it isn't. But like that doesn't. As soon as this fires, like that doesn't really count. So yeah, eventually it is going to round it up. So like it is a little bit strange. So for instance, if you're sleeping, when you sleep, it changes the time instantaneously from, like, say you start sleeping at 1 o'clock. It's going to go 8 hours and it's going to go to 9. If your respawn time for some sort of resource was like 6 o'clock, it skipped right over it. It's gone. So you're gonna have to wait like a whole nother day for it to come around and then respawn, which I'm kind of fine with, because like you just skipped a whole bunch of time. You don't want the resources to just automatically respawn right away, anyways. So if you're sleeping a lot, you can miss out on the opportunity of things respawning, but that's fine. So yeah, that's just how that it kind of works right now, and it kind of goes into like a self-contained loop that's delayed by 3 seconds, and it just checks that time, and it's like, hey, am I supposed to respawn? Am I supposed to respawn? Am I supposed to respawn? And if it needs to respawn, then it comes through, and it basically respawns another version of itself and adds it. Oh, actually, no, this one's not an instance. So yeah, it just respawns another version of itself and then destroys the original one. I guess technically I could just like show the original one again. But originally I was going to destroy the actor here so it wasn't there at all, and then run this loop outside of it somehow and then do it. But like that got like super crazy. So yeah, I might come back and clean this up, and so it's a little bit more streamlined. But for now, it works, and I'm fairly happy with it. And this is the general principle that I used for the foliage and for the animals and their respawns as well. Let's see here. Right. Sorry, I'm not used to using one monitor. I have 3, and it's really weird to record on just one monitor and like dragging windows over. It's just, I don't know. It's so foreign to me. Okay. So let's go here. Prints, animals. BP animal. I'm not even sure if I did the respawn on this yet. I think I was waiting until I got. Yeah, no, I just did swimming, which the swimming is pretty interesting, and I'll probably do a separate video on the swimming aspect of it, because it's just, that took me so long to figure out how to do that, and there was like serious complications with how the body of water actually detects the first person, which is the player, and that's how I do my swimming events and whatnot. But as soon as an animal went into the water and started swimming, it shut down my ability to swim, so I just sank to the bottom every time as soon as an animal entered the water, or vice versa. If I, entered the water after an animal, the animal couldn't swim. And it was just like this really weird, awkward, back and forth, and I was getting such strange data that I was like, I don't know what's going on. It took me a couple hours, I think, to really figure out what was actually happening, and then went, okay, I need to redo this entirely. So I cheated a little bit with the animals because it didn't really matter as much. And so you'll see some weird artifacts, like if they get out into like really heavy waves, like they'll be floating a little bit, or they'll be under the water. Like, you know what? Like, that's fine. But like for the player character, it's a little bit better. It's a bit more even keel. It still doesn't, the player doesn't bob in the water on the surface, which is unfortunate, but without going into C++ and actually figuring out how they're calculating the height of the water at any given moment, I'm not sure how to actually change the height of the person dynamically like that. And other people are, on the forums and whatnot are just as confused as to how to, actually do that. which is too bad because it seems like that would be a very basic, thing. But I don't know. Maybe I can strap some pontoons to it and just have them bob like I do a ship, but we'll see. These resources. So these ones with like the red spheres around them, that's part of PCG. So let's see here. That literally all that has in its constructor, or not the constructor, but in the event graph is just how it does the respawn. There are other functions in there for pickup and whatnot, but that's all done by other functions as well. This is actually a kind of a beta test program. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. PCG. So this is actually pretty interesting. Come on. You punk. All right. Wait, can I? Oh, that's actually better, I think. No, that's not better, but whatever, that's fine. So PCG here basically places objects dynamically in the landscape. Oh, jeez, what the heck's going on? Okay, I finally just registered that was happening. Okay, so so this, what it does is it gets the landscape data for you, and like has it all kind of pre-compiled, and then you get the surface sampler and the bounds of where you want your objects to be, and then you fill out where or how many objects you want and what the objects are, and then it just like does it for you. So let's see here. Let's go debug on that. So you can't really see them. I don't like that debug. There is a well, you can see the little red pieces and whatnot. It's actually easier than in the debug mode. So these are put out like dynamically through this. It's easier to see. I'll put this off to the side, or actually no, I think I can do it up in here and just kind of show you. So like this is 0.5. So let's zoom out a little bit. So if you watch these little red pieces, if I change that to 0.2, it changes the density of the fill and where they're going to be placed. And so you can alter how many you want within this given cube here. So that's really cool. It saves you a ton of time. Instead of like manually putting them in here and there and whatnot, like you can just do it dynamically. So that has been awesome. Absolutely love this. So I'm using this for both basic things like that rock that I picked up. I think I have a banana. I'm going to have some coconuts. There's going to be, miscellaneous items, tools, whatever. So those are going to be done dynamically through this, and you can randomize it or like select specific ones depending on how you want to have it done. And then you can just select a box on an island and boom, there you go, and it just randomizes it for you. With the animals, it's basically the same thing. You just select. Let's see if I can get this. We'll just throw it back up here. So basically with the animals, you're just selecting a different blueprint. And that's basically it. There's not really a whole lot of difference. So I have BP items here, and BP items just has a randomly selected item within a list that I have of some of my items. And with the this specific one is the boar. So I have just the boars in here. What I'll do is I'll probably have multiple ones in here that are set up for specific animals, and then one that is set up as a random one, and then I will probably call these things either externally or I'll just copy and paste it, when I make a new one for different islands and whatnot. So, like, some islands will have, very specifically, they'll only have boars on it or something like that, and the other ones will have like all these other, ones. So, something along those lines. Yeah, so that's the PCG spawner, and and then there's basically Speed Tree. If you've ever done any game development in the past, Speed Tree has always been like gamer's best friend. Well, game developer's best friend, I should say. And let's see if we can get in there real quick. So that's built in now in Unreal. And basically, if I can just move all of this stuff out of my face. So basically you select the foliage, the fauna, the rocks, whatever that you want, and then you can just kind of paint them in the scene. And then you can also remove them from the scene however you wish as well. But it's a lot easier than actually going in and placing them. And it does, so if you do just one, so we have one thing selected, if you paint like a bunch of them, it changes rotation, scale, and like a few other attributes that kind of make it so it doesn't look like the same model every single time. And that works really well. I have some coral in here and whatnot, and like you've seen a little bit of that when I was swimming. There's like a little bit of coral down here. So those are the kind of the three ways that I'm placing objects in the scene at this point in time, and that's more or less what I have so far. There is a day and a night cycle. I mean, as I already showed you with the bed, sleeping, and then time changes. I haven't actually timed how long it takes for like a full day cycle to go, but I think it's somewhere around 20 minutes, something like that. It might be longer. I don't know. So that might be changing as I go, through the system and figure out more things and get ready for like an alpha launch or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are right now. A few things to for that I'm going to be working on in the future is sailing. I definitely want to get this raft up and running with like dynamic wind on the sail, having it so you can rotate the sail to catch the wind, raise and lower the sail, and then with the rudder you're going to be steering or whatever. And then that'll translate to bigger ships. This is a test boat. This is not something I'm actually going to use. This is like, a 20-minute, quick, just so I have something that floats in the water. So yeah, there's basically, yeah, I mentioned picking up the chest. I want to work on that soon. Sailing and underwater, flora and fauna, really, actually. It's very bare underground or underwater right now, so I do want to do that. So, yeah, there's a couple things to look forward to. That's basically it. I think all my other vlogs are going to be much shorter, but this one, just for a recap for what I've been working on for the past, month and a half, basically. Yeah, that's kind of what I get so far. So stay tuned.